My name is Jasmine Srunika Crystal Singer, and I'm the CEO of Success Siren. I help soulpreneurs just like you overcome struggle, self-doubt, and startup stress, as well as tech overwhelm, so that you can sign more soulmate clients, give more back to the world with your impact, make more income, and live that luxurious laptop lifestyle of your dreams. Today's topic is something that is very close to my heart. It is literally peeling back the layers of the inner work that needs to happen in order to truly live your passion and get paid to play and get paid to pursue your passion. Today's title is how to reconnect to nature so you can nurture your niche with equine naturopath and founder of Sacred Horse, Gizelle Hamilton. Gizelle, welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here with you.
And just so you can tell all of those viewers who are tuning into this show where you are calling from, because we are really calling from other sides of the planet here.
We are other sides of the planet and very different times of day too. I'm located in Adelaide, which is in southern Australia, the state of South Australia. So down in the southern hemisphere, summertime over here that we're enjoying. So a bit warmer than where you are at the moment.
Exactly. You would think Greece would be warm, but we've had some cold spells, some chilly spells. I've even had to break out the coat. So it gets hot enough here in the summer. Gizelle, I don't even know where to start. I'm sure if we have other soulpreneurs tuning in, they are just hopping off their seats. Well, at least I am. I mean, I'm standing for this interview. I have so much energy running through my veins because an equine naturopath, first of all, what is that for those of us who don't know what that is? And I'd love for you to tell us your story of struggle to success, because this is really proof that your passion can define your niche, that you become the standout person in a self-created niche. So for all of you who are watching this, who are like, I'm still in my corporate job, or, you know, Gizelle is so amazing and gorgeous, which she is, and she has all these special talents. I could never do that. Gizelle's going to tell you a little bit about how it wasn't all this way, and the very long journey that it took to get here, but the things that did speed up her journey so you too can make the leap and get paid to play. So Gizelle, take it away. First of all, I'd love for you to tell us your different training as an equine naturopath, so we just have a better understanding.
Sure. So equine naturopathy, it's effectively like naturopathy for humans, but instead doing it for horses. So the training that I have done specifically has been a combination of nutrition for horses, herbal medicine, flower essences, and also pasture management and physical therapies like massage. So it's really about treating the whole horse and treating them from the inside out, sort of recognizing that, you know, as humans, we have brought horses into a very artificial environment. Quite often they're living in stables or stalls or very small paddocks. They don't have the opportunity to roam. They're fed on high sugar feed stuffs, you know, just really counterintuitive, not the way they naturally live. So it's about reintroducing some natural elements to rebalance them. And when something does go wrong, instead of going down the pharmaceutical path, it's about medicating with herbs, which they would naturally do in the wild. So it's a really beautiful, natural way of treating horses and recognizing that, you know, they are really one with nature and we should respect them in that way and treat them with nature to heal them as much as possible. So
Beautiful.
That's what I do. It's a combination of all those things. Yeah.
And you are sitting in nature, which is really my number one tip. If you want to be able to really cut the learning curve and go straight to the soul aligned decisions you need to make your business dreams a reality, regular contact with the nature, walks in nature are so important. I remember you telling me before the show, Gizelle, that you had a 10 to 12 year history in corporate. So some people might think, oh, you'll just bring all of your business, you'll just transfer that all to your new business, but it didn't exactly work that way. Can you tell me what place nature had in really helping you birth this dream and have the courage to make this your full-time passion, which you're doing extremely well at? So really commanding amazing fees and helping more and more horse owners and horses and really expanding your impact all across the globe now. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Sure. Well, like you said, I was in corporate for, between 10 and 13 years, 10, 12, 13 years. And the reason I'm a bit sort of vague on it is I was full-time for quite a while. And then once I sort of made the decision to enter into equine naturopathy, I didn't leap in. I did dabble, continuing to earn some money with corporate and continuing to do the equine naturopathy. It was a safety net for me. And, making a leap from something like corporate to running your own business, it's not as simple as it sounds, because running your own business requires a completely different skill set. You need to be everything. You need to understand your bookwork. You need to know how to do your marketing. There are just so many elements to it. And to be honest, marketing was daunting for me. Sales and marketing, it seemed very pushy and uncomfortable. So I had a lot of sort of internal barriers that I had set for myself. So it was very much about a stepwise process of moving from the corporate to what I'm doing now. But the reason I did it was because I was at in a stage of burnout with my corporate work. I was quite exhausted. My work was very people oriented. I was doing human resources, workers' compensation and rehabilitation consulting. So it was very people-based work. And in those roles, you're always stuck in the middle of different opinions and different conflicts, where manager wants one thing, employee wants another thing, doctor wants another thing. It's exhausting. You're trying to manage all this energy and all these personalities. And I knew there was something else I was supposed to be doing. I wasn't happy. I wasn't fulfilled. It was good money, but the money was no longer worth it, if that makes sense. It was just, where was the life? Where was the lifestyle? So I made the decision. I spoke to my husband and I told him that I wanted to start looking at equine naturopathy. And the reason I had wanted to do that was because I had, over the years, I'd had a few niggling health problems, and I had gone down the journey of discovering the importance of herbal medicine and using nature to heal, all of those sort of natural modalities. I had seen how people who went down the pharmaceutical path got sicker and sicker and sicker through the rehabilitation work that I was doing. They'd get one medicine, they'd have side effects. So they'd get another medicine to overcome the side effects from the first medicine. The next thing you know, they're on half a dozen tablets a day. Their health is continuing to decline. And it's just that sort of steady downhill decline to death, really, to be honest. It's what I was seeing. No quality of life, miserable people ending up depressed. It was just this horrible cycle. So that's where my exploration came in. I was exhausted from helping people, working with people, overcoming conflict. So having worked with horses before and having my own horse, it was just sort of this natural, it was an exploration of what do I want? What do I enjoy? What am I passionate about? I'm passionate about horses. I'm passionate about nature. I'm passionate about natural medicine and healing. Why not try it? Why not bring it all together? My husband supported me. So I started studying. I had to travel. It wasn't easy. It wasn't like an online course that I could do. I actually had to travel interstate for periods of time, take time off work to do my studies. And I just sort of gradually took it from there, registered my business, took time off to have children. And it was actually a really big blessing. Beyond the fact that I'd had children, it gave me the time and it gave me the space to continue working on my studies and to continue sort of processing what I wanted to do in my business. I still wasn't confident. I was still quite frightened that I couldn't do it, frightened that I wouldn't be successful. had no idea how to do marketing at all whatsoever. Really terrible, to be honest. So it was a real journey, and I did go back to corporate work. As I mentioned, I had a call from a boss who I loved. That's the only reason I went back, who was really supportive of me, allowed me to do some part-time work. And then as my business grew, allowed me to work from home and do sort of satellite work for her, until I got to a point and I went, I don't want to do this anymore. I actually went in and said, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm really grateful, but it's time for me to do my own thing. And that actually coincided with my husband and I buying acreage, which you can see. I'm in my backyard now. I have 20 acres.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. 20 acres of lush beauty.
It is. And you know what? As you said, being in nature has been the most supportive thing I could do in my business. It was so aligned with me. I get a little bit stressed in the city, you're just constantly surrounded by noise and people, and there's no space. It's not me. For some people, they thrive on that energy. But for me, I prefer to be out in the calm of nature. And once we did make that move, my business started to take off because I was able to connect with my intuition a whole lot better and go, okay, well, what's the next step? What do I need to do next? And just take a breath, go outside, spend time with the horses, and you get a download of, I know what I need to do. And that's been a big help for my business. It's helped me, it's not always a case of going out in nature and you know exactly what to do. You go out in nature, you feel better, you hop on Facebook or you hop on the internet, and then bam, exactly what you needed is in front of you, because you've just allowed what you've been wanting to come into your life. Because you've given yourself that space. So like you say, just going out in nature regularly, spending time with animals if you love animals, makes a huge difference for me, for my business success.
Wonderful. So if you could just talk to us a little bit about some of the techniques you employed to become more visible. You did touch on some of the very common visibility struggles we all have as solopreneurs, resistance to sales. And I just would like to speak to that, because if we really think about what it is, you have a holistic solution. You have created the environment with those 20 acres to really be able to serve at the highest level. I don't know if do you see horses at your own place? Do you travel to them? How does that work out?
I have a combination, actually. I gist horses here, which is people pay me to keep their horses on the property, which works well because it's a bit of, I call it relatively passive income. It also helps to keep the costs down, because in Australia we have a high fire risk.
Right.
The other thing I do is I travel to clients to do their physical therapies, and the naturopathy I actually do online, and I consult internationally. So I have clients in the US, I've spoken to people in Chile, in France, in the UK, and I can help to provide advice and personalised recommendations and prescriptions for horses and horse owners globally. So it really has become quite the freedom business for me in that regard. And it works well because I do have 2 children, one's 5 and one's 1 year old, and I want to be around them as much as possible. I don't want the 9 to 5. I don't want to be constantly driving out to clients. This gives me that combination of passive income, getting out the house a bit, and being home when I want and need to be at home. So it's perfect.
And you've really developed that lifestyle around your passions. And again, it took you tuning in and doing the research, but also aligning with, what mentors do you want to follow? What systems are going to support you in your lifestyle? And I did want to talk to that about sales, the resistance, excuse me, to sales, that when we are not putting our work out there, we are actually doing a disservice, because now that you've gone online, there are an unlimited amounts of people who can learn from your expertise. And just to preface this, Gizelle is going to be sharing just an incredible, incredible free resource. Even if you don't love horses, it's a fabulous resource that you can share and get others to sign up for. It's really fantastic. And she'll be talking about that as we go a little bit further in the program. But for now, Gizelle, when did you make that switch between that resistance to sales and knowing I am not fully aligned with my mission if I'm not serving, and I cannot serve more people if I am not visible, if people don't know what I'm about, they can't see me, that can't connect to me, they can't know what my highest values are, what I stand for, and how I can help exactly. So those are all very important parts of marketing and really embodying your beautiful brand. So if you could tell us a little bit about the switch that you made in mindset that has allowed this incredible expansion for you.
Yes, sure. Look, it was a very gradual process. I was extraordinarily rooted in fear. I was really concerned mostly because a lot of, not all, but a lot of the horse industry, particularly where I live, is very traditional. There are ways that things have been done forever, and we keep doing that way, and we call the vet, and we don't do any of this other herbal stuff. And I was really concerned about my reputation and that people would think I was a fool. And I had to get past that. I had to get past the concern that people would see me and think this girl is, sprouting nonsense. And a big breakthrough for me was actually finding equine assisted therapists, which I hadn't heard of before. But these are people who help to heal humans using horses, which is, really beautiful, really magical. It's something probably newer in Australia than the rest of the world. I think it really started overseas and has gradually come here. But I've met a few of these people and they were really open to natural healing because that's what they do. They do a natural healing modality that isn't recognised by medical profession, and they care about their horses and they're wanting to use nature to heal their horses. And it actually, finding my perfect target market made a big difference to me. Finding like-minded people, I suddenly had the confidence to put myself out there and to go, you know what, I'm probably not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. I don't have to be. I just need to resonate with the people who want my work. And if other people want to unfollow me or unsubscribe from my mailing list because I'm not what they want, well, that's actually a service to me, because I don't want to be marketing to people who don't want to hear from me and don't want my stuff. So that was the turning point. And it's really only been even in the last 6 months that I've started getting more confident doing video and those sorts of things, actually putting my face on the screen.
Which is so lovely to see. It's just so refreshing to see your surroundings, how you do this work, and to really feel your vibration through video as a video visibility and video marketing mentor. The amount, more than 90% of what we're communicating is nonverbal. And so when we see you on screen, we within a few seconds have already sussed out, wow, I want to know more. I love her vibration. She's very rooted. She's very anchored. She's extremely sensitive, empathic, and open. I know as somebody who loves horses and did quite a lot of writing as a child, that the connection between horse and rider is completely empathic and oftentimes telepathic one. Yeah. So if you have such a precious being that is part of your life, you're not going to just entrust that being just like a child to just anybody. You want to know exactly who this person is and how they can help and what their values are. And I think, you stepping out into video is fantastic. And I do want to talk about that, the visibility fears that you had that maybe delayed you from doing interviews like this or doing your own videos. What were those specific fears, Gizelle? Because I do want our audience to know that, none of us are perfect in this visibility journey. We're all learning as we go, and we're inspiring one another as we share.
Yes. For me, I think it goes back, sort of years and years to childhood and the way that we are raised. And one of the things that I was always taught was that the only way a female would be respected is if she was better than the males. And stepping into a very holistic way of doing things, particularly in the horse industry, which has got lots of females, but also some very strong male personalities, I was really frightened that I was going to be perceived as a stupid female. And I had worked so hard in a corporate environment that was very male dominated to gain respect. And what was going to happen now if I'm stepping into something that I'm passionate about that is that's very different? Looking at these sort of natural therapies, which people turn their nose up at, I was terrified of my credibility. It was really my ego that was terrified of being damaged. And that's what held me back the most. It was, I don't want to be disrespected. I don't want to be seen as a stupid female. What if I fail? That was the other thing. You know, what if I put my face out there? What if I tell people that I'm running this business and I'm all in, and then I fail? And then I become that statistic of, oh, it's just another woman who has had children and tried to run her own business and completely failed, you know? That was what really genuinely concerned me. I think it was not wanting to be a stupid female. You know, females aren't stupid, but there's that mentality out there that women are less than. And
Absolutely.
you're worried.
I'm so glad you're bringing this up. Let's just talk about it. If we even look at the discrepancy between salaries, men and women, you know, fulfilling the same function, we could do a whole series of shows on that. So by being visible, we are inspiring other women and men that you can create an incredible freedom-based lifestyle that is lucrative, that does more than just sustain you. It really allows you to enjoy the finer things in life and to build your bigger dream. Most of my clients are solopreneurs who say, you know, even if I make $1 million with this, that is not what is driving me. What is driving me is that this is what I love, I breathe, I dream about at night. And to help people and more people, that's my frustration. Where are my people? So that brings me back to another visibility limiting belief that we can blow right out of the water, which is there aren't enough ideal clients. So I'd love for you to tell us, and then, you know, we are nearing the end of the show, so we'll really focus on, you know, the amazing offers that you have for our audience. But I would love for you to blow this last limiting belief out of the water, that there aren't enough ideal clients. I live in a rural place. I have children. I can't do this full time. I would love for you to help walk our audience through some of your internal mind shift, or even better, some of your favorite practices having to do with nature that can really help them dissolve this block and build a new belief, an empowering belief that their ideal clients easily come their way every day.
Yes. So for me, you know, I live in Adelaide, which is a relatively small compared to world standards. I don't even know where we're at population wise now. It's probably 1.2 to 1.4 million. So it's a capital city, but it's not huge. And like I said, a lot of really traditional horse people out here, what I would call salt of the earth people. If you can't see it, hear it, touch it, taste it, smell it, doesn't exist, you know. So for me, I was like, where am I going to find these people who think like me, who think a little bit differently? So you know, that was a significant barrier. And it was only through, I actually started to join some online communities of people who were largely international, and started to meet people online just through, you know, different Facebook groups that were focused on the human and horse bond, or that were focused on equine assisted therapies, or that were focused on spiritually based businesses. And I started to realize that there are a lot of people out in the world who are like me. It's just that I hadn't come across them yet. So, you know, I think that was a big step for me. And like I said, in terms of, you know, using nature to connect up, you know, to me, I'm a true believer that we've already got everything that we need. We just have to open up to realize that it's already there. And, you know, I'm going to use this sort of analogy. If you look at herbal medicine, herbs always grow in a place where you need them, and that historically has told us their function. So arnica grows on rocky hillsides because you're likely to fall over and bruise yourself or cut yourself, and arnica is the perfect herb for it. So in the same way, all the gifts that we need, all the talents we need, all the information we need is already there. We just have to open up to see that it's there, and getting out into nature and just emptying your mind. That's the biggest thing I do, is I walk outside into my paddocks to see the horses, and I stop thinking as much as I can. I just let the thoughts go, and my best way of doing that is to listen. So at the moment I can hear the wind, I can hear crickets, I can hear about 3 different varieties of birds in the background. The dog's next to me panting, the horse is ripping grass out to my other side. And it's about focusing on the sounds around me that helps me to clear my mind. And once I've done that and I go back in the house, suddenly all these thoughts come flooding through because I have allowed the space to be able to do that, which is
beautiful.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and it makes such a difference. So I think if you live in a city, like you say, making the time, even if it's a park somewhere where you can't hear the noises of cars, or you can hear the sounds of birds, or, you know, on a weekend going out to a national park or reserve, just to have that space and just to breathe and just to stop thinking. It's so important.
Absolutely. And what is one of the, this is kind of putting you in the hot seat, but what are one of those magical ideas that you are currently putting into practice in your business? What's the next level for you? What has come through?
So my latest piece of inspiration, I'm actually going to enter into the online training zone. And the reason I'm doing that is I've had so many people reach out to me wanting to know what I know. And the reality of learning what I have learnt, you know, going through the equine naturopathy stream, is it's expensive. It is time consuming. You know, I can't tell you how many hours I had to put into researching individual herbs, putting together a materia medica of, hundreds and hundreds of pages. It took me months and months and months. And then you've got to actually practice and find out how it works, and, you know, in reality. So I actually want to empower people to be able to treat their own horses, because that's what people are wanting. And I'm going to start teaching people in more bite-sized chunks. Here is, you know, for example, equine Cushing's. This is what it is. This is what you need to know about it. Here's a herbal remedy that you can take away and apply in your own life. So it's really about educating people and giving them a toolbox full of remedies that they can apply if something happens to their horse. So I'm really excited about that. And I think, you know, the more people we can educate, the more people you're impacting. So, you know, you're not giving a person a fish, you're teaching them to fish for themselves. And so that's the download that I've got. I need to start educating people because that's what they're calling for. And I've probably been ignoring that for a while, just not sure how to tackle it. But the next few months are going to be very focused on creating some new products for people and getting people on board to really empower themselves and heal their own horses, which is great.
Beautiful. And for those viewers who are watching, who are like, yes, I want to follow this journey, how can I connect with Gizelle further? And, you know, I might not have horses, or I might be in a big city, but I have an auntie, or I have a sister, or oh, this sounds just like my niece. I really, really want to refer this person to your incredible library of knowledge. Where can viewers go to connect with you, Gizelle?
Okay, so I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. I have just started Instagram, so it's not a huge account yet, but we're getting there. And my social media is at The Sacred Horse, so you can look me up on there. My website is sacredhorse.com.au, and you can have a look on there to find out more about me and have a look at my blog. There's also a free resource on there, which you can download, and that talks about herbs which are potentially dangerous for your horse. And when you sign up for that, you get onto my newsletter. And I'm not an absolute stalker with email. I just send out bits of information that are useful and relevant to people, and lots of resources. So that's a great way of doing it. As you mentioned, I've also got a resource for everyone who is tuned in and listening, and that is the top 6 herbs to heal pain and inflammation in your horse. So we'll give everyone the link to that, and that's something that you can download, and you'll also get signed up to my newsletter as well. So that's a really great way to find out about the work I do and see if it resonates with you. The herbs themselves, the herbs, like you said, they're applicable to dogs. They're applicable to humans. So you're actually getting a resource which just provides general herbal information plus a little extra flair. You know, I'll talk about horses specifically, but they're herbs that anyone can use. So it's a lovely little resource with plenty of information in it.
Gorgeous. And just to really conclude, Gizelle, what is your greatest dream for human-horse partnerships, for horses all around the world, for humans all around the world?
You know, to be honest, my biggest thing is for people to be kind to one another. I find in the horse world there is so much judgment and people get themselves tied up in knots about it. I suppose it's that way for anyone who has pets, but there's this real judgment of people who ride dressage, people who ride Western, people who don't ride at all, you know, people who ride bareback, people who do liberty. Everyone wants to judge everyone else because they're doing something different. And I really just want everyone to step into a space where they accept each other. As long as the horse is happy and healthy, as long as the owner is happy and not doing anything unkind to their horse, we just need to be kind to one another. I'd really love to see the judgment stop and understand that everyone's following their own path and their own journey and doing the best that they can do.
Beautiful. Well, that's just so much inspiration for this week's guest interview on the Success Siren Salon. Again, how reconnecting to nature can help you nurture your niche with Equine Naturopath and founder of Sacred Horse, Gizelle Hamilton. I know that I've just been shifted into this frequency and we've been jolted back into reality. By listening to you, by hearing the sounds around you, I have a feeling that there may be some people listening to this who are like, are you going to be doing retreats, Gizelle? Will you be teaching us even in person after the online? So I know there are a lot of things bubbling there. So I guess the best way to stay tuned to all the magic Gizelle is creating is, again, to follow her on the Sacred Horse website and also to connect with her on social media. She's totally available and a total dream to talk with. So again, down amazing pre-resource. We'll have it in the show notes for you below, the links to that very special gift Gizelle has for you. And again, Gizelle Hamilton, thank you so much for your inspiring struggle to success journey and for being so transparent and sharing your passion and your greater dream for the world to be a kinder place, for us all to release our judgment, and for us to tune into nature so we can find the deeper holistic solution. Well, that's all we have time for this week, but tune in next week for the next episode of the Success Siren Salon. Again, I'm your host, Jasmine Srinika Crystal Singer, inviting you to connect, captivate, and contribute. Bye for now.